Well, good morning and welcome to another glorious day in the North York Moors and to the third of our series of videos exploring the 9 churches on the 41-mile St Aelred Pilgrim Trail. I'm Reverend Ian Robinson and today I'm at the Church of All Saints Hawnby, which dates from the 12th century, albeit with a major rebuild in the early 15th and some restoration in the late 19th centuries. And this is the view you're rewarded with as you come to the end of the third stage of the trail, having come round the western side of Hawnby Hill. What a pastoral and peaceful setting it is. This church just nestling in this beautiful glade with the River Rye running past its southern boundary. It really is an absolute joy to behold. You might be able to see a number of leaning or fallen gravestones, and that's the result of a major flood in this area in 2005, when a month's rain fell in 3 hours on the moors above Hawnby, swelling the river and then inundating the church. What's also very obvious is that the church here at Hawnby isn't in the actual village itself. And indeed, Hawnby is a village of 2 distinct halves. And you can find the reason for that by reading the story of the Hawnby Dreamers on the parish website. It's as though the church is almost positioned as a third point of a triangle, equidistant from the 2 halves of the village. Whatever the reason for its location, it is simply idyllic. The church does not have an overall architectural style. It's grade 2 star listed and is made of dressed sandstone and limestone rubble under Welsh and Westmoreland slate roofs. Bellcot houses 2 bells, and the south porch and door, although they look to be in a Norman style, is actually part of the 19th century restoration, whilst the east window, which greets you as you walk into the churchyard from the road, is in the perpendicular style. So let's venture in through the south aisle door, and essentially what we have is a 3-bay nave and a 2-bay chancel. And the church is really flooded with light through a number of stained glass windows. And just as we enter the church, round to your right hand side, there is what is possibly the remnant of a Norman arch, on which there is a capital with a human face, possibly a green man or a foliate head. These are not uncommon to find in church buildings. They first started appearing in England in about the 12th century, so the idea that they are only a pagan motif I don't think is really correct. If this is a green man, then primarily it is interpreted as a symbol of rebirth. Appropriate perhaps, as it stands near the Christian sign of rebirth, the octagonal font, which is old but has clearly been recut. The other standout feature inside the church are the stained glass windows. None of them are old, but 2 windows, one each in the north and south aisles, tell the story of family and of sacrifice. This window in the south aisle commemorates, from the time of the First World War, the Reverend William Hughes, known as the fighting parson of Hawnby, and his wife Mary. And across in the north aisle we have a window which commemorates their 3 sons, all killed in that same war. Strongly encouraged by Reverend Hughes, in fact, almost all the young men of Hawnby joined up to fight. Sadly, the war memorial attests to the large proportion who died. So, what is it that our minds are drawn to as we encounter this place? I feel a clear juxtaposition. Inside the church, the story is of war and family and of sacrifice in the service of country. All this suffering marked within this bucolic setting. A setting testament to the gift of God's wondrous creation, of which we are stewards now, but all too often we seem to want to destroy. And there in the east window above the altar, the ultimate sacrifice, Christ on the cross. And we can recall the words of St. John. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, to the end that all that believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So as we leave All Saints Hawnby, once again having stamped our St Aelred Pilgrim passport, we're heading next on the more challenging and undulating fourth stage of the St Aelred Pilgrim Trail to another All Saints church, this time in the hamlet of Old Byland. I look forward to seeing you there. But for now, from one of the most beautiful settings of any church in this country, goodbye.